Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Welcome in to the PHNX D-Backs podcast. My name is Derek Monty, occasionally known as the mayor of Sad Town. This fine human being next to me is our Finxtographer, Danielle Cortez.
Oh,
how you
Derek,
feeling? How you feeling? How are you feeling?
We're only 5 games in. I shouldn't be hurting this much, man.
I mean, is it? I feel like a bit of an overreaction coming on, and of course, without Jesse here to temper this overreaction, I know that there's very little to stop it. But the Arizona Diamondbacks did lose a heartbreaking game by a score of 4-3 to the San Diego Padres. You know those guys. They spent a lot of money on their team. And the thing about this game was very early on, it felt like there was a chance this game was going to get completely out of control, like the 2 losses that we saw in Los Angeles. Ryne Nelson did not have a strong first inning in his first outing of the season. And honestly, after 2 innings, things were concerning. Things looked concerning. And this Diamondbacks team, just to accentuate the positives a bit, put up an amazing fight against a very tough Padres team. And I think that they all kind of battled back, including Ryne Nelson, who, even though had thrown nearly 40 pitches in the first 2 innings, was it 40? Was it 60? It was close to 60.
Yeah,
it was close
60,
to 58.
60,
58 pitches in the first 2 innings.
Had...
He still was able to kind of battle back and give the Diamondbacks a solid outing and give them, honestly, a chance to win.
Yeah, like you said, he had 32 pitches in the first inning.
Yeah,
not ideal.
Mm-hmm. And a home run to Juan Soto that put the Diamondbacks behind.
And not a cheap shot from Juan Soto, right? It's a big center field out there in San Diego. But, he settled in. He retired 6 in a row at one point.
He did.
Broken up by a 2-out Xander Bogaerts double, which, you know what? You'll take 2 outs. Man, this one hurts.
This one hurts because they had a lead, right?
Yeah.
And we'll get to that. But part of that lead was able to be established because the Diamondbacks bullpen actually stepped up with Ryne Nelson only being able to go 5 innings and did a good job. Cole Sulser had a 1-2-3 inning in relief in the 6th. He struggled a bit in the 7th after, I believe, getting the first out. He walked 2 to put 2 on the bases. And then Miguel Castro came in.
Oh.
And let me tell you, we've already had a lot of very, very positive things to say about Miguel Castro, but his stuff was absolutely electric. His slider was zooming and moving, and man, it was all he threw. It was all he threw. Was it 5 pitches?
He got Manny Machado to pop up on one pitch, and then struck out Xander Bogaerts on four sliders. He threw nothing but sliders. And you know what? Those sliders, he didn't miss on any of them. Even the one that was a ball, he was trying to get Bogaerts to chase. It was pretty. He's the real deal.
And here's the thing. This will be the criticism I'm sure a lot of you will throw at Torrey, and again, rightfully so. If we are moving into a relief pitcher, closer by committee kind of situation, I really didn't see a need to pull someone who was throwing the ball as well as Miguel Castro was after 5 pitches, right? But that is what happened, and the Diamondbacks went to Scott McGough in the bottom of the 9th, and he gave up back-to-back home runs to David Dahl and Ha-Seong Kim to give the Padres a 4-3 walk-off win. The Diamondbacks did have a lead there temporarily. A big part of that lead was Corbin Carroll, who was the Diamondbacks' best player out there today. Corbin Carroll got his first dinger of the season, which is very exciting. Very fun to see Corbin Carroll, especially at a 20-degree launch angle, which really shouldn't ding. It really shouldn't ding. But he did hit it at 105+ miles per hour with exit velocity. So very fun to see Corbin Carroll starting to heat up offensively. And Evan Longoria, who we absolutely did not say on this show should be DFA'd on opening day after one single regular season game, came up huge with the go-ahead solo dinger in the 9th inning that put the Diamondbacks up by, I believe it was a score of 3-2 at that time. And I mean, honestly, this game was heartbreaking.
Yeah,
this game was heartbreaking. Here's what we wanted to see out of the Diamondbacks, especially in these 6 games against the Dodgers and the Padres, was the Diamondbacks have a good showing. And you might not be able to say they had a good showing in the 2 losses in in LA, but they were able to still split that series.
Yeah.
They still have an opportunity to split this very short 2-game series with the Padres here, which would still be a win. But I think if you want to take something away and not be as sad as we absolutely all are deep inside in our soul, then you could take away the fact that they really did have a chance to win this. And again, an unfortunately familiar feeling, the Diamondbacks couldn't get the win on a close game and have a closer come in and shut things down. Now, I will say, Scott McGough did come in and do this very thing for this team in their previous win in LA. So you can't immediately start calling for Michaela in the bullpen for Scott McGough yet. But I do think that the Diamondbacks, if they truly are going to go in a closer by situation, closer by committee kind of mindset, this kind of thing needs to change, especially when a guy comes in like Castro came in and was throwing the ball as well as he was, and only threw 5 pitches.
Yeah. I think
that's the big thing. Is the 5 pitches.
I think the heartbreak here is that it feels different. This bullpen feels different, right? We saw yesterday. We saw it today as well with Sulcer and Castro coming in. So you get this feeling that like the D-backs have a good bullpen, right?
Yeah,
we got this. And then to just go right back to where we were last year just rips your heart out. And
well, it's that feeling of being hurt before and knowing this hurt and immediately thinking we're already back there, right? Like it's like being in a terrible relationship and now you're in a new one and the person says something to you slightly aggressive and you're like, here we go again. Probably gonna punch me in the face next time.
That's just it, man. It felt like it just felt different, right? It just felt different with Castro coming in and throwing 5 pitches, and just looking dominant so far this season. It just really hurts. The thing that I think we need to take into account is guys like Castro. You don't know if he's capable of going back into the dugout on a cold night. And sitting down and then coming back out.
Absolutely.
You don't know.
Right
with these late inning bullpen guys, most of them aren't used to doing that. So it's very rare you get a Mariano Rivera who can come in and get 5 outs easily, right?
Right.
So you just don't know. I'm not going to question Torey for that, just because, like you said, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know if he's ready. You don't know if he even has that experience, right? We don't have the numbers in front of me.
Right,
but you don't know if he has any multi-inning saves, right? So who knows? It's just, like I said, this one felt in hand. It felt with the Longoria home run. There was just like a magic to it, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking like 3-0, baby, like here it is. Well, but it just didn't happen. The good news is there are positive takeaways, right? Corbin Carroll heating up. Evan Longoria had a pretty good night. Nick Ahmed had a good night. And even Miguel Castro having another solid night. It hurts, even knowing there are 57 games left, it still hurts. So
what I didn't know what the discussion was about, the replay.
There's Maddie in the chat was saying, why would you save your challenge? Just because, like, I guess his point is, what do you have to lose? And then Jacob's saying, well, he was clearly out according to the replay guy, so they didn't want. They wanted to save it.
Yeah, and at that point, you might as if you have definitive evidence, then why waste it? There is a conceivable possibility that you might need 2 challenges in the 9th inning, right? In the bottom of the 9th, had McGough done his job, there is a chance that you need both of those in the 9th inning. So you don't really want to waste them when you're up like that, right?
I think that if the play was close, I'm with Matt and saying, challenge it. I'm definitely that. But I think we saw that without taking too many looks at it, and it looked like he was.
I thought he was out. But yeah, I think also it was one of those plays that had he been called safe, he probably would have. he probably like the play was gonna be upheld no matter what.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Cog says Kalu was absolutely robbed of an RBI double. Absolutely. Like, no doubt about that. Not only was he robbed by Machado of an RBI double, but right before that, Machado was the one with the hit that banged off of the bigger goddamn base.
Machado stole an RBI of his own, right?
He got one in that he didn't deserve to get, and he also stole one. So I've had enough of Manny Machado already this season. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't want to be like, I don't want to try to look for the positives in this loss. I just want to be angry about it, to be honest. I just want to be mad that this didn't go the way that the Diamondbacks. I mean, because to come out with a plus 500 record after, facing 5 games to the Padres and the Dodgers.
What do we say? 120 wins last 200?
Yeah,
200 wins last year. I think it was.
Right. Like, it's just incredible to me that they were that close, and I feel like there's still a lot of positives here, right? This is still a team that's growing, learning. There's a lot of youth here. Torey Lovullo still doesn't know who in this bullpen he can rely on, right? So it is easy in retrospect to say, hey, should have left Miguel Castro in, but I think you made a great point about not knowing how Castro might potentially react to coming back out after sitting down on the bench for the half an inning. I don't know, but overall, Corbin Carroll still is. I know, Brett. I know, Brett says no. Look for the positives. I will try, but here's a positive. Corbin Carroll is our king snake of the game. Put it up there, buddy. This guy 3 for 4 with his first home run of the year. 2 runs scored. He had the RBI off the home run, and he just continues to. He continues to prove that he is worth every dime of that contract already early on. And he is just getting started. That's the best thing about this here. AZ Sports Girl 224 just yelled Chafin. I agree. I don't know why. I'm guessing for the 9th inning, but I just agree with yelling out Chafin.
He's looked good so far. He has looked
really good. In other Corbin Carroll related news, yes, Virginia, there is going to be a Corbin Carroll bobblehead. Corbin Carroll bobblehead. I don't know when it just got slyly inserted into the promotional calendar. I never saw it up to this point, and I know for a fact that this guy right here went on quite the rant about the Diamondbacks only having one bobblehead this season. But that is no longer the case. On August 26th, we will have a Corbin Carroll bobblehead, and it's going to be making a face like this, where it's like his face is pulled back, I hope, or something, like where the running face. I need the Corbin Carroll running face, and I need Corbin Carroll. Maybe someone had the great idea of having the legs spin. And
didn't they do that with Craig Kimbrell and his arm? I feel like I think they did that.
Someone else had an idea of like a stolen base counter, and that's also very good.
They did the Robbie Ray strikeout counter. Yeah, we might as well get a Corbin Carroll.
That's what I'm saying. We might as well get the Corbin Carroll stolen base. But yes, Ryan, you're welcome. I will continue to fight for you, and I will continue to fight for bobbleheads, no matter what. But you guys need to continue to fight for us. And be here with us on this podcast. Join us whenever we go live, whether it's good times or bad. We need to be together. We need to stick together. We thank those of you that are here already. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of our shows go live. Leave us a thumbs up. It helps our self-esteem after losses like this. Also, grab yourself a PHNX Diehards membership over at gophnx.com. Not only do you get yourself a piece of PHNX merch from the phnxlocker.com every year you're a member, you also get 20% off all future purchases. You get members-only merch, members-only discounts with our partners, members-only access to our Discord lounge, which is the best place to be an Arizona sports fan, as well as access to all of our newsletters, all of our content, including Jesse Friedman's Full Count newsletter, so you don't miss anything about the Arizona Diamondbacks. Also, BetMGM. If you haven't already signed up, we are proud to be partnering together with BetMGM, and we are very excited for our PHNX in-app bets coming very soon. We also are going to be out there for some monthly cornhole leagues at the BetMGM Sportsbook at State Farm Stadium. It was very cool to see so many of you guys out there this weekend. More info to come on that. But if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code PHNX and you will get up to $200 in bonus bets on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code PHNX. Place a pregame moneyline wager in the amount of at least $10 on any market at standard odds price, and you will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly, regardless of the outcome of your wager. Just make sure you use bonus code PHNX when you sign up. I was going to say shine up because, of course, you get to now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
Well, as you guys heard, I was asking Damon if we got Jesse yet, but we have no Jesse yet. But that doesn't matter. We don't need Jesse here to do the thing we do around here because you know what we do around here. Every week on this show is Shark Week. Every day on this show, regardless of what the calendar says, is Earth Day on this show because we recycle. And every Monday, we go to the mailbag. Let's go.
My mailbox, always something interesting in my mailbox. I try to get to everything in my mailbox, and then once in a while there's a letter that makes me go wow, wow. My mailbox.
Let's go. Damon, what we got in the mailbag today? We got a bunch of questions about Mad Bum, don't we? Oh yeah. Well, let's get them all out. We got Spencer asking, is it realistic? Is it a realistic move to take Mad Bum out of the rotation? TR Cogs asks, how long do you think Mad Bum will last this season? He already appears injured. And Court Blackwell says, Dre going to jump into the starting rotation? Yeah, those are three versions of the exact same question. And the question basically is, when is Mad Bum going to kick rocks, basically? And I don't know. I don't know about that. Mad Bum was not removed, but he was basically diagnosed with arm fatigue, and they said that they were going to take him back to Arizona, where he came back here to have an MRI done. According to Tori Lovullo, and this video that Jesse sent us, it sounds like Mad Bum is doing just fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. It's just a little bit of fatigue, as we explained. I think all pitchers go through it at certain points in time, and really he works hard for the 4 days in between his start. So I just think we got to get him past that point, and as of right now, he's going to be starting on normal rest, and he'll throw a bullpen, and I'll get you guys more information after the bullpen.
Well, there's your answer about his health and well-being. It sounds like Mad Bum will be just fine, and he will not be missing any starts in his rotation, much to some of your chagrin. I think the idea here is that we hope Madison Bumgarner can get back on track. We hope that his bad start against the Dodgers was indeed impacted by arm fatigue. But what are your thoughts on the fact that we all kind of know deep down inside that as long as he's healthy, it almost feels like Madison Bumgarner could have a 72.05 ERA and he's still going to go out there and start.
Yeah, the thing that's really frustrating is, we're all hoping for an answer, right? With arm fatigue, whatever it is. At this point in his career, that's just kind of who he is, right? It's just kind of the Madison Bumgarner we're going to get. And we talked about it yesterday. He's, he doesn't have the stuff that I used to. And he was never, a savvy outthink the guy pitcher. He was, here's 97, hit it if you can. And now he doesn't have 97 anymore. He's a guy that's always going to have a spot in his rotation because he is World Series MVP, single-handedly brought the Giants a World Series, Madison Bumgarner, right?
Yeah.
So, sending him to the bullpen,
which is so unfair to a very talented
Giants it really is. But this is just what it's going to be. As long as he's a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks, he's going to have a spot in the rotation. And Tori has shown he is a very loyal guy, right? And that's, we love that about him. Yeah. But at the same time, Madison Bumgarner is actively hurting the D-backs right now, right? Yeah. It's just really frustrating to watch, to see someone who is so great and with so much hype getting here to just not perform. He's not Madison Bumgarner anymore, right? Whenever we would see his name pop up, we said, well, there's a loss. And now it's you see his name pop up, and there's a loss the other direction, right?
Still a loss.
Oh my gosh!
Still somehow a loss for us. It was a loss back then, and it's a loss now. That's not fair. That's not how it's supposed to work. It's not supposed to work that way. Oh, man. There was a question, by the way, in the chat I wanted to address about Ketel Marte's switch hitting. Brett Johnson says, late mailbag question. Should Ketel stop switch hitting? He's so much better as a right-handed hitter. I don't know about that, Brett, because, I guess he is better as a right-handed hitter. You're right about that. It's a frustrating thing to watch him kind of try to find himself at this point and try to be doing it from both sides of the plate when, it really does feel like if he kind of sticks to one, he will have a chance to just be better in that way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think right now it's working out because he has a 133 batting average this season. And, last season we kind of saw him regress as well. So anyway, no, Mad Bum will not be moving to the bullpen. I don't foresee that ever happening. I just really don't. To be honest, I think I would foresee the Diamondbacks just parting ways with him before they would actually move him to the bullpen.
And it's going to have to be a release too, because who's going to take this? He's that you can't trade him. I love seeing on Twitter everybody's like, "Oh, trade whoever's not playing well," right? Well, it takes two to make a trade happen. Somebody has to want him, and right now, with what Madison Bumgarner is making versus what you're getting out of him, nobody's going to take him.
I got an answer for you.
What?
The Savannah Bananas.
Could you imagine him out there?
He rides out on a fucking horse to the mound, right? Fucking pulls it up, fucking has the cowboy hat on. Sorry to the guy that currently has the cowboy hat gimmick right now, but you lose that. It's like if you came in and wanted your number, you give up your number, you're giving up the cowboy hat. Throws pitches from the horse, right? Just throws
and
pitches
does it
from
as
the horse.
Mason Saunders.
Yeah, and Mason Saunders, right? And then like I went to Medieval Times for my birthday, and they do this thing where the horses come out and do a little dance. He could do that when the guys twerk. He can dance the horse.
Oh man,
there's a career
Make it
there.
happen.
Johnny
Make
Damon
it
is their
happen.
outfielder right now. Let's get a trade. Could you imagine if we traded him for Stilts?
Oh man,
if we traded Mad Bum to the Bananas for Stilts. I'm just throwing it out there. Those comebackers up the middle are going to be caught real easy by Stilts. What else we got, Damon? Mad Banana. That's a good one, Cogs. Corbin _barrels. Hey, Corbin. Can Carroll make one inside the park home run this season?
Yes.
Multiple.
Yes.
All it is literally going to take is him getting his like an active jump, not just one where he falls out of the box a little bit, doesn't think it's actually going to be fair, but still manages to get a double. It'll just take a good jump from him and one of those balls to ricochet around and bounce in the outfield and just have an outfielder make a bad play on it. There's no way that's not going to happen at least twice this season. I see Corbin Carroll. I'm setting the over-under at 1.5.
I think you take the over on that.
Yeah, you're taking the over.
I think you take
on
the
that.
over. I saw the comment that says trade Bumgarner for Ohtani and maybe a first round pick. Mm-hmm. Who says no? Come on. For ordinarily for an inside the park home run to happen, something has to go wrong. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be the case with Corbin Carroll. That's not going to be the case. Yeah. It just has to, in Dodger Stadium where they have that curve. Yeah, just get one in there. Yeah, just down the line, get one in there.
And it's not just that. It's the fact that Corbin Carroll is going to get a reputation.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So what's going to happen is outfielders are going to panic.
Yeah.
They're going to press on making a good defensive play out there, and they're just going to blow it. Yeah. And they're not going to get it.
Yeah, and you get one in that weird triangle over in the corners at Chase Field. Done.
Or at what is it? What's the San Francisco park now? Oracle?
Oh yeah, Oracle.
Is it Oracle?
No,
get it over in their
it's AT&T.
AT&T
now.
bar, is it? I don't know. Who's their business daddy now? Wherever. It just bounces around, careens around in those garage bays or something. Yeah, we're definitely getting a Corbin Barrel inside the park home run at least one time. We're calling him Corb Him now. That's what we're going with, Corb Him. What else we got, Damon? Will Novak asks, Carroll and McCarthy have mullets. Randy Johnson had a mullet. Please give me your all-time all-mullet lineup. First of all, I want to address something. That's good vibes, I think, right? Like, there's a good connection there, right? When you're talking about Randy Johnson having a mullet, now there are several special guys on this team that also have mullets.
It is Oracle Park, by the way.
It is Oracle Park. See, I know my stuff.
They changed
sometimes.
it
I'm not
from
an idiot
AT&T.
all the
Yeah.
time. I'm not dumb all the time.
AT&T isn't even okay. We're good. No,
All
we're
right,
good.
fine.
We're good.
But let's talk about this all mullet team.
All mullet team. Boy, we dug pretty deep.
We dug
into
deep
this.
here. This wasn't easy. This wasn't easy. First,
and we went at any point in their career, not necessarily when they had at any point with the career.
we had to find.
There weren't that many.
There weren't that many.
There weren't that many.
We come to find out that Dansby Swanson has a mullet at times. I know that one hurts a little bit, but we're adding him in with Corbin Carroll.
Did Shelby Miller have a mullet?
Don't do that. Don't do that. But we also Andrew Chafin mullet.
Absolutely.
That's
mullet.
business in the front and party in the back if I've ever seen it in my entire life.
We got Mike Fetters.
Mike Fetters had
my goodness.
Mike Fetters had an incredible mullet at one point in his career. We looked up pictures of it, and it was impressive.
Particularly his Brewers days.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something,
yeah,
Google Mike Fetters. You will not be disappointed.
Also, Bob Brenly.
Bob Brenly had an incredible mullet
with the mustache.
With the mustache was absolutely gorgeous. And then of course, the greatest mullet in probably baseball history, Randy Johnson.
Yeah,
Randy Johnson. You're never gonna beat that. It's the most iconic look. And maybe baseball history.
And we decided that these games would be played at Mullet Arena.
It had to be.
Have to be played at Mullet Arena. Next question. What else we got? Hanley Ryne on Twitter asked, "Hey, Mr. Mayor." Sorry, Danielle. This is where things take a turn back to wrestling. And forgive me. I'm glad Jesse's not here for this because he'd be furious. But he says, "Hello, Mr. Mayor. What is your review of WrestleMania? Mr. Vice Mayor, what is your review of LA Tacos? And have you tried this place, Taco Bell?" First.
You got the Mexican on. You got the Mexican on set riled up.
That's not a good start. I'm gonna first address WrestleMania. WrestleMania was a whole lot of fun. I enjoyed it very much. I think, in my opinion, if they didn't try to stretch it out into 2 nights and they condensed the good stuff into one show, it might have been the best WrestleMania of all time. I was fully invested in any storyline involving the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sammy and Kevin, Cody Rhodes. It was all great. It all paid off well. Most importantly, the end was a surprise. It wasn't predictable. It made me angry. It made me emotional. It made me want to watch the show tonight. And that's what this thing that pro wrestling as a televised show is really all about, right? It gets lost a lot of times, but like as a pro wrestling fan watching this for as long as I have, I don't give a shit about the wrestling. This is a male soap opera that I'm here to watch, and I'm here for it. And
that splitter hanging a doll.
All right, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Sorry, I
keep
don't
that
know,
shit on the Coyote Show or whatever, whoever the hell that person was.
That was
I don't
Scott
recognize
McGough.
that man.
That was Scott McGough.
That was
was it Scott McGough?
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see his face on this show ever again. I don't ever want to look at him ever again. No, that's got to be from Jesse. Yeah, that was Scott McGough. We'll get Scott back in here in a second. It interrupted my WrestleMania, but I had a great time watching WrestleMania. It was a lot of fun. I still don't think it needs to be 2 nights. I still don't think anything needs to monopolize people's time like that. That's a whole other thing. But had a blast. Jesse loved the tacos. I'll tell you that much. He really, really enjoyed the tacos. And he did not get enough tacos, by the way. So what else we got? Kenny Felix asks, who will dethrone the tribal chief? It will be Cody Rhodes. Just plain and simple. It's not changing. It's still going to be Cody. Just not yet. Soon, though. What else we got? We got one more WrestleMania question maybe after this. Hey, Oos, from our friend at Don's Bread. Hi, Mark. Are you feeling okay after last night? Not really. Like I said, emotional. I'm not good. He said just checking in. I did drink water. I'm sure Jesse did not drink enough water. And I'm sure that's why he's not joined us yet, is because he's probably cramping up somewhere because this was a marathon for him. And I don't know if he was ready for this many baseball games. This guy was teaching math just like 6 months ago, I feel like. And now he's running around baseball parks across America. But no, I hope he's okay. I don't know. I can't confirm. But he did send that video of Scott McGough, so I can at least say he's alive. What else we got, Damon? Hanley. Nope. Gabriel asks, what plans do you have for Evil Derek? Okay, so some backstory on this. Gabriel flew to Japan and came across my evil twin. Can we throw that back up there again, Damon? Because we need to take a look at this guy. There he is. So for those of you that don't know, my other role in life is as a wrestling commissioner, and I very much look like this when I'm doing my other job, including that very same hat in that very same color. So I don't know. I mean, there can be only one Derek. I know that. And I know that flying to Japan just to fight this man doesn't really make a whole lot of sense logistically or financially. However, it's the only course of action, right? I mean, it really is the only. There can only be one, and that's the way that this needs to go.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think I could pull off those glasses?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
All right. I mean, looking
With
at that
hat,
guy.
absolutely.
Looking at that guy.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on, let's go. Well, I'll tell you this much. Whether it's a road trip or I'm taking a plane out to Japan, I will be fueling up on Circle K, no matter where I go. You should too, because Circle K not only keeps your vehicle filled with gas, but it also keeps you filled with all sorts of wonderful drinks, including 12 packs of beer for just $9.99, Red Bull 3 for $8, Monsters 3 for $6, and iced coffee for just $1.99. They also have in-store sweepstakes to check out where you can win a vehicle that I absolutely can't pronounce. I'm not even going to try, but make sure you're not missing out on all this great stuff that you can find at Circle K and be stocked up all March Madness long. And we are in April now, so let's update this ad read, shall we? Head to circlek.com/store locator. That's circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you. And of course, Ryan said he thinks he saw those glasses at Circle K, so I need to stop by a Circle K on my way home and try to find those glasses. But I will be stopping by also to grab some Four Peaks beer. Four Peaks beer is the official beer of this podcast, of this network, and of Derek Montilla. You can get Four Peaks beer anywhere, but why go anywhere? Get it at Circle K. Also, you could stop by their 8th Street Pub and get it fresh off the tap. You can also take a tour of the 8th Street Pub. We told you, ghosts help make the beer. We still don't know how, but we'll figure out one of these days. And also, check out their chicken tendies because they are the best in all of the valley. They are amazing. The thing is on April 27th, we're going out there. We're hanging out with Bo Brack. We're hanging out with our guy, Johnny Venerable, and we are going to watch the NFL draft on April 27th at the Four Peaks 8th Street Pub. New coach, new GM, and the Cardinals have the 3rd pick in the draft. Huge opportunity for this team, and the best place to take in this pivotal moment is with us, your Finksers, at the rest of the NFL draft on April 27th at the Four Peaks 8th Street Pub. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy their beers and enjoy responsibly. Hey there, now we got him. Coming on in is the one and only Jesse Friedman, who will be here in a second. But very interested to see what the vibes are like in the clubhouse, as well as kind of how Scott McGough is taking this whole situation. Can we get Jesse in here yet? Jesse Friedman. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Welcome. How you doing?
I think we have a hardcore delay.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Okay.
All right, you want to try to give us a ring back?
I can if you want me to.
Please. Please. All right. Yeah, get him out of here. Get him the fuck out of here.
Get out, man.
No, I'm very interested to see what the mood is like. I think
it can't be great.
I don't know. I don't think. I think again, one thing that Jesse constantly reminds us of is that, of course, we have to stay reasonable. It's a long season, and even their expectations, I think, as a team, are a little more reasonable than maybe ours are.
Yeah, and
as
definitely
fans.
fans definitely wear it more than the players because there is 162 games in a season. But I mean, still, this one was a tough one.
Here's why I think we wear it, especially early on. We have no idea what this team is going to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if you are a fan of a team right now, like the Mets, like the Dodgers, your expectations are high.
Mm-hmm.
You want your team to be good. You might even be panicking as a Dodgers fan that they split the series with the Diamondbacks, because they're so used to seeing their team dominate, a rival in the division.
Yeah, specifically in LA.
At home, right? That it's kind of like, whoa, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Like, how did they get 2 wins out of this, right? So I think maybe the internal expectations are different than ours, but you can't help but feel like this one was in the bag there, and it just slipped away from you,
Yep, and we talked about it. That's what hurts, is that this was in the bag, and it felt different, but it just wasn't. This is just right back to what it felt like last year.
Yeah. All right, we got Jesse back, I think. Let's see if our delay is as bad. Jesse, is it as bad as it was last time?
Seems all right to me.
All right,
Hey, there we go.
got it. Well, we're trying so hard to be reasonable. We're trying to not overreact. You're not here, so that's hard to do, but help us not overreact too much about this kind of I'm not saying devastating loss, but man, this one's heartbreaking.
It's a gut-wrenching loss. I mean, there's no way around that, right? I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot worse than you're up by 1 run going to the bottom of the 9th, and your closer gives up a home run to the first 2 batters in the inning, right? I mean, that's a pretty tough situation.
Yeah.
There's no way getting around that. But in the grand scheme of things, you're not going to win every 1-run game you play. And from the D-backs perspective, it was pretty cool that they had a shot to be 3-0 in 1-run games and start the season 3-2, despite having a horrendous run differential.
Yeah.
But that's just not how it tends to work out in baseball. You're not going to win all of these 50-50 games that happen. Scott McGough, unfortunately, in the 9th inning, he was just hanging splitters. Frankly, there were some very, very concerning looking pitches there in the 9th inning. And I know we discussed the other day, maybe the Diamondbacks would look to get McGough into some lower leverage situations after being a little shaky in his first outing. He did get the save in Los Angeles yesterday, so don't want to take that away from him. But on the whole, I wouldn't say he's necessarily proven himself yet to the point where you really want to be using him in that closing role. So we'll see if Torey reevaluates. Obviously, Scott McGough is not the Diamondbacks closer officially. We're not at that point, but we might see Torey maybe stay away from him in some of these situations moving forward.
One topic we brought up was obviously the how good Miguel Castro looked and his 5-pitch outing, kind of leaving the potential open for him to come back out in the 9th. We talked obviously about the other pitfalls of that and how he might not be ready for that kind of role himself, or he might not be ready to come back off the bench and go back into the game. What were your thoughts on potentially using Castro there instead of going to McGough?
Well, I believe Chafin pitched the 8th inning. So unless we're in spring training and you can take a pitcher out and bring him back in, I don't think that's going to work out so well.
My bad. I guess we were talking about just in general there, that all being moved up one. Miguel Castro not being brought back out for the 8th, and then, obviously maybe going to Chafin there instead in the 9th. But instead, they did not bring Castro back out after his 5-inning outing.
It kind of reminds me. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of how the Diamondbacks used Archie Bradley a little bit back in the day. Not that Miguel Castro has risen to that level yet, but Archie Bradley wasn't the Diamondbacks closer. He wouldn't come into the 9th inning to start the game. Basically, what Torey Lovullo would do is he would pick out the highest leverage, most important late game situation, and he would use Archie Bradley whenever that happened. And that's basically what you saw Torey do today with Miguel Castro. You've got 2 on, 2 out in a really, really big spot, or 2 on, 1 out in a big spot in the 7th inning, right? The 3 and 4 hitters coming up to the plate for San Diego. And that's where we saw Torey use Miguel Castro, and it worked out really well. If you put Scott McGough in that situation, maybe you have a similar outcome to what happened in the 9th inning. So it's hard to say, but I'm sure that Miguel Castro will be at least considered for, the occasional closing opportunity moving forward. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
We do have a tweet here kind of showing McGough where he might have gone wrong, I guess you could say. I don't know if you want to say gone wrong, but that you said a sliding or hanging pitch. This is quite the hanging pitch. Just absolute paint in the corners there.
I think that I want to say it's a splitter. It's 90 miles an hour. It should be a little on the slow end for his fastball. I believe that would be a splitter for McGough. Not the best location there.
Yeah, and you caught up with McGough after the game.
Yeah, we did. I believe we have a clip of McGough. We could let him do the talking instead of me if that clip is there.
Yeah, just left a splitter-handed doll. He did a good job going with it and has enough juice. He's a dangerous hitter. And then with Kim, just got behind him and went with the slider and didn't really spin, so just kind of left it in his sweet spot, and I know where to go on him. So just 2 mistakes.
So it just kind of happens in a hurry, doesn't it?
Yeah, you try to, after the first one, you try to attack again. You get behind on him. Just made a bad pitch and got to live with it and let the boys down today, but just go back at it tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what are your emotions after a night like this, and how do you kind of flush?
Well, I've been doing this for a while now, so you kind of know not to get too high or too low. The best ones I've seen, the guys that have taught me the most, kind of stay consistent. So just try to keep, level-headed and come back to work tomorrow. And we got another game, and we want to split the series, and that's the goal. So I'll be here to help out the team.
Cool, thank you.
To be fair, he totally looks like a Coyotes player. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? But let's get Jesse back in here. Jesse, obviously, no real need to panic. We still are, like you said, gut wrenching. We're heartbroken. What do they do from here? They're still trying to figure out what this bullpen's identity is, and it still feels like this bullpen is much improved from last year. But here we are in that same spot of, well, the bullpen blew it again.
Yeah, I mean, not naming a closer is great until you don't have one, right? And until you get to one of these situations and you just don't know who to call on. Torey has called on Scott McGough the last two times that we've had that situation. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be interesting to see how it evolves and where the Diamondbacks go next in that spot. I do think it is important to point out, kind of as you were saying, this bullpen does look better early on. It's such a small sample at this point, but Scott McGough allowing those 2 home runs broke a streak of 7 straight scoreless innings by the Diamondbacks bullpen going back to last game. So they really have, I think held their own on the whole. If those 2 home runs happen in the 6th or 7th inning, you're disappointed, but you probably don't feel like you do right now.
Yeah.
Where it feels like the bullpen blew the game. The bullpen on the whole still was pretty decent in this game for the Diamondbacks. I mean, 4 innings, 2 runs. That's not terrible. It's not like they gave up 6 or 7 runs or anything and blew this game. So I think it's too early to make any big declarations about this bullpen. But the closing situation in particular is going to be really interesting to see how that unfolds.
That's a great point, because we talked about the freedom that not having a closer gives Torey and to go to his bullpen and use someone situationally. But like you said, when it comes down to it, who do you look for? And especially if you're using maybe guys in other high leverage situations, maybe like you wanted to use Miguel Castro, but you decided instead to go to him because there were 2 on and 1 out, and it made more sense to kind of try to bring him in to make sure that those runs didn't score. That's fine, but then that leaves you possibly depleted of the guy you were thinking about going with later in the game. I'm not saying that's Castro, because obviously with Castro being so new to this team, I doubt that Torey's considering him for that role just yet, but it feels like potentially he could. I mean, he is already using Scott McGough in that role, and McGough is new to this team as well. So I'll say this though. Ryne Nelson did not look very good early on. And he was able to get things back on track. What were your thoughts on his outing?
I was impressed, honestly. After those first couple innings, it was like, all right, you're going to have to get the bullpen up. Like, here we go. Another really short start by a Diamondback starter. But he really bounced back. The innings 3 through 5 were pretty sharp all the way around for Ryne Nelson. This is, in some ways, kind of the first adversity that he's faced as a big leaguer. Last year, he had a sub 1.5 ERA. I think one of those starts he might have had some difficulty, but on the whole, his major league career has been pretty darn good up to this point. He hasn't really had a whole lot of these situations where he really had to dig himself out of a rut. And it was impressive. I mean, to see a guy who was at almost 60 pitches after 2 innings, and on a relatively short leash with it being so early in the season, giving the Diamondbacks 5 innings, I think was a big win there. So not the sharpest outing that we've seen from Ryne Nelson by any means. He really struggled with the changeup early on. It was kind of all 4-seam fastball slider. The 4-seamer's command was all over the place. But as the game progressed, it got better. And I think he has something good to build off of in his next start.
It's something he has to be commended for, because we talked about how we saw that during spring. He has a good ability to kind of bounce back from adversity and to get himself back on track. And that's a big trait that Torey Lovullo is looking for when it comes to starting pitching. This is exactly the reason why. The first inning, 32 pitches, he was at nearly 60 after 2. He had given up that two run home run to Soto, and he still found a way to give them 3 more quality innings and only allowing 1 more run while he was out there. And I thought that was pretty damn good, considering just like the way that Dre Jameson, his kind of his counterpart, provided them with such a big lift in their first win of the year. It feels like Ryne Nelson did everything he could to give them an opportunity to win, despite the fact that the start of this game didn't go so hot for him.
Yeah, it was big. I mean, I think you learn more about starters when they don't have their best stuff in some cases than when they do. And Ryne Nelson definitely did not have everything cooking. I still think he has a lot to prove. We haven't necessarily seen him have all of his pitches working a whole lot so far this year. In his spring starts, things were a little bit shaky at times, other than his last appearance, which was really good. But yeah, I mean, I was really impressed with the way that he bounced back, and it doesn't by any means, like, I'm not viewing this at all like the Diamondbacks made this big mistake by, having Ryne Nelson as the 5th starter rather than Dre Jameson.
Sure.
I'm sure Jameson would do okay in this spot too, but I think Ryne Nelson is also, very capable of being pretty good in that 5th spot. And he showed a little glimpse of it toward the end of his start today.
So it was Mailbag Monday, Jesse. I'm sorry you missed it, but we do have a couple of questions.
You've already answered all the questions.
They were mostly about WrestleMania, so you really didn't miss much. But
yeah, that's par for the course at this point.
I know.
We're a wrestling podcast.
We are. They won't let me have any more shows, but they said I could talk about wrestling here. So that's the only reason. Until they give me a wrestling podcast, this is where I do my chatting about that. But one, Dre Jameson. Do you see Dre Jameson, if things continue to not go well for any starting pitcher, do you think that Dre Jameson is kind of around still and still looking at being that guy that might slide into the rotation and take someone's role?
It's possible. It's certainly possible that he could. I don't necessarily have any, information from Torrey or anything when I say this.
Sure.
My gut feeling is that Dre Jameson will spend the entire season in the bullpen. That's purely my gut feeling. I just think it really feels like Archie Bradley in 2017, where you put a guy over there, you're not necessarily planning for them to stay there, and then they're really freaking good, and you try to imagine a world where they're not there.
Yes.
And then you're like, all right, we got to keep him there, even though we weren't.
Who would we have turned to in these 20 games if it wouldn't have been for him being out there, right? So it makes it that much harder to move him. The other question we had for you is, how are the tacos?
I still just had those tacos from the other day. I have to give a shout out to, I didn't have any tacos today.
In LA and in San Diego, and you haven't had tacos at least 3 times? Jesse, I feel like I'm not doing my job on teaching you how to eat when you go to these places.
The media dining hall, Derek, was on point today. We had some great soup. We had some very well-seasoned potatoes. We had a little pork chop situation going on. They took good care of us here in San Diego.
Right.
But tomorrow I'll request tacos and see what the chef.
I'm going to send them a thank you note for taking such good care of you. I promise.
San Diego's media dining. No joke. It's no joke.
LA's is pretty good too, from what I heard too. How was the opening day grub over there? Was it pretty good?
San Diego beats LA.
Really?
For sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no question.
Wow.
I mean, number one, the dining in San Diego is $10. $10 for media to eat compared to $15 over in LA.
Wait a goddamn minute. Those lying bastards from the LA media told me that they eat for free over there. Is there something else going? Are they taking advantage of you? Who made you pay the $10 or $15? I just want I want names, Jesse. I want to make sure they're not just taking your money.
Yeah, it was weird. They asked for all cash, and it was someone that wasn't wearing a uniform.
They didn't have a little square or nothing. Damn it, Jesse. We talked about this.
No, the food in LA for the media was kind of deceptive, and this is how some of the other reporters describe it to me as well. And that it looks very good. You walk over, you look at it, you're impressed with what you see. And then before you know it, you're trying to cut into this prime rib with a little plastic fork and knife, and you can't even cut into the prime rib because the thing is so dang tough. That was my experience on opening day. Not a fan.
Hey, I'll tell you this much. it can be any cut of meat, but if they don't cook it right, it's not going to be right. So
they need to get your brisket. They need to get your brisket over at the LA dining area.
I'll teach them the recipe, but they're not going to want to stay up for 12 hours straight like I do to do it overnight. So that's the whole thing. I'm gonna get mad at somebody in LA for them not taking care of you over there. But Jesse, we're very excited for you to come back. I will say that I have replaced you with Danielle, though, so that's something that you're just going to have to deal with. I don't know what we're going to do with you when you get back here, but we'll figure out a new role. I do want to say this, though, before we go. We have proof, Jesse. We have proof, Danielle, that the MLB new rules and the pitch clock are working. Unrefuted. It's facts. You can't argue with this. Jeff Passan put out a tweet. Let's get that tweet up there. First 4 days of the MLB season by the numbers. 2023, 50 games. 2022, 49 games played. Time of game average from 3:09 last year to 2:38. That is a whole half an hour of our lives that we get back, ladies and gentlemen. Batting average up, 245, 230. Everything offensively up. But look at these stolen base numbers. 84 attempts versus 43 attempts last year, and an 83.3% success rate versus 67.4%. 70 stolen bases to 29. And then when it comes down to the pitch clock violations, 40. Less than one per game. Where are you at, pitch clock haters? Show yourselves. Because all of your points are null and void. We all hail the pitch clock. All hail the pitch clock, Jesse.
That 83.3% success rate blows my mind.
That's
that
nuts.
Really is. It's almost dangerous, honestly, because it's like, oh man, if it's 83% and teams are running that much more than they were last year,
right?
Teams are just gonna keep on running, and they might run even more than they have in these first few days because of how successful some of these teams have been on. Granted, a portion of that 83% is the simple fact that Will Smith over in LA really struggles to grip the baseball when he's trying to make a throw.
Shut up.
So that was
no need to point that out.
of it.
No need to point that out.
But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how that changes. I don't think 83% is sustainable. My guess is teams will continue to push running even more aggressively. And as they do that, I think the success rate will probably come down a little bit. But yeah, these games are moving. I mean, we haven't had a 3-hour game yet for the Diamondbacks this season through. We
don't even have time to get our stats together to do this damn show. Jesse, tonight's time of game, 2 hours and 29 minutes. That's a full 9-inning game with a walk-off in the bottom of the ninth. And let's be honest, there were lots of pitching changes in this game.
Walks, long at bats.
There were high pitch counts for both starting pitchers on both ends. So this was not even one of those samples of a game that really moved. It didn't have a ton of offense in it. I'm not going to say it did. But even the 10-1 victory the Dodgers had over the Diamondbacks was a 2 hour and 35-minute game. These games are moving.
I think that one was 2 hours and 14 minutes. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I might have gotten it out of order in the list that you sent out. But yeah. 235 was the longest of the 4 games in LA. Am I right?
I think it might have been 240, but yeah, something in that range. The Diamondbacks haven't even come close to.
He always has to make me look dumb.
When you say things
238, it was like 240.
Job.
Shut up, Jesse. Go back to San Diego. I'm not even giving him an exit anymore. Cut him off, Damon. We're done with you. Bye, Jesse. Go away and go away forever. I am so done with Jesse being on the road. Okay, all right.
Oh man, the crazy thing to me about that is, for so long I've always said well, you can either have offense or a quick game. You can't have both. We got both. I was wrong. I will happily admit that I was wrong. These games are moving.
No, the one thing about it was, especially I think we were talking about it while we were watching the game, is this is it. Everything you wanted to achieve, you can achieve, and that proves it, right?
Yeah.
That proves it because you wanted to increase offense, you wanted to put more balls in play, and you wanted to shorten the time of game, and they absolutely did. But that's it, man. I'll tell you, This is something incredible that
I think Jesse
baseball's
wants
done.
to come back.
Does he want to come back?
Yeah.
Did he apologize?
He hasn't left yet.
Okay. Well, then he can come back, I guess. But Jesse, come on back in. I'm just overreacting all night long.
You can't let me go like that.
I can
Derek.
kick
That
you
was
off
just
whenever
straight
I
up
want.
rude.
You're not here.
He's the mayor.
I am the mayor. I wear the
I wanna-
shirts. All right. What are your thoughts?
I wanted to at least address. There was a comment that came through about not
The challenges?
Yeah, I see something about challenges. I'm not really sure there were any plays. There was one close play at one point, but
Yeah,
honestly,
it was the out in the ninth inning is
the
what
double
I
play,
think Maddie's
the double play for Gabby Moreno. Yeah, I think he was out at first base. We talked about that in the press box a little bit. You might as well use your challenge, but I made the point. This game could be headed to extra innings, and it very much looked like it was going to for a second there in the bottom of the ninth. But yeah, I think Moreno was probably out. I think that comment might have also mentioned pinch hitting for Moreno, if I'm reading that correctly. Gabby Moreno is not a guy the Diamondbacks would be pinch hitting for. I know he's had a bit of a rough start and grounded into a costly double play earlier in this game. But I mean, it's only 5 games. I think he's gonna be just fine.
I think that's it. I think it's easy for all of us to be reactionary. And I think Matt was saying, if you can tack on a couple more runs there, obviously, at least 2 runs there in the top of the ninth.
Yeah, but hey, guess what? You're not, because he was out.
Well, okay, but that's fine. I'm just saying that's fine. I mean, I guess the idea there is like to at least challenge it, throw it out there since it's so late in the game. Chances are you're not going to use any more challenges, but you just never know, right?
Yeah.
And then the last thing you wanted to do is use it on a challenge where you were overtly wrong, and you have
you
analytics people looking at it, right? Yeah, like I mean, it happens really fast though. We talked about that. Challenges need to happen so quickly now, and the decision needs to be made within 15 seconds, basically, of the manager making the sign that he's contemplating challenging it. So, sometimes these decisions have to be made quickly, and that's probably what we saw tonight. But doesn't matter. Again, with the way that things went in the ninth, it looked like the Padres were never going to stop hitting home runs. They just did because they won the game, and that's the way that went. Let's take a look ahead at tomorrow's probables. We got a big matchup in Yu Darvish versus Zach Gallen. Jesse, what do you expect to see out of our boy on Galentine's Day?
It's a big start for Zach Gallen, I think. He expressed some issues with the pitch clock and just kind of him getting used to the pitch clock. And we've talked a lot about how he does tend to work pretty slowly once guys get on base. And I went back the other day and listened to his post-game interview after that game. And he talked a lot about, having some trouble at times slowing the game down. Once some offense gets going a little bit against you, it's hard as a pitcher with the pitch clock to not let things spiral, to try to settle down and kind of gather yourself. I think Gallen struggled a little bit with that. And I mean, he had a rough spring that we've talked about too. And I mean, really, ever since the pitch clock has come into effect, we haven't really seen Zach Gallen look like himself out there. So it's a big one for him against, one of the best lineups in baseball. And hopefully for the D-backs, he's able to get back on track.
I feel like that might be a little bit for Merrill Kelly as well. Just the pitch clock, and maybe it's not the actual pitch clock impacting them as much as it's their mindset about the pitch clock and just not accepting it, right? Like they both still very much seem to make comments, whether it's, it might just be kind of passive aggressive things, or maybe it's just kind of a little thing here or there about how much they hate it and think it's going to like ruin baseball games. And I feel like that mindset is kind of what's holding, might be. I mean, I have no way to know that for sure. I'm just speculating, but I feel like that might be what's holding them back.
It definitely affects certain guys more than others. There's no question about that. And I think that was maybe one of the league's bigger hesitations with doing it, is that it's not fair in some ways, right? You could make a case it's not fair. It doesn't affect every player in an equal manner. It causes certain players to be at more of a disadvantage than other players. I still think it was the right call. All those numbers that you brought up earlier, I think it's doing a lot of good for the game. But Zach Gallen is one of those players that it unfairly puts at a disadvantage a little bit more than other players just with the way that his game is built.
But Luis Garcia had to change his entire rockin' the baby thing, right? Like, I mean,
true.
Other pitchers have had to change their pitching motion completely. I will say that Zach Gallen is a slow worker. Merrill Kelly never really struck me as that, but it doesn't really feel like these guys are being impacted in the way that their mechanics or delivery are being impacted by this rule. I feel like it's up here, And for Zach Gallen, he might feel rushed, so I understand that, but I still don't feel like it is for a lot of other pitchers in the league, like it's this big mechanical change of your delivery or something that you're doing that you have to completely come up with something new, right? So hopefully Gallen can find his way to peace with this whole situation, and a start against Yu Darvish is maybe the way to think about it. It's a pretty big pitching matchup as far as head-to-head marquee matchups go, and hopefully he'll get his head into it and seeing that this team is competing. This team is doing good things, and I don't know how you wouldn't want to, kind of try to focus and zero in and put all that noise about the new rules and stuff behind them. I mean, shit, I tweeted it out tonight, but so far the biggest new rule to impact the Diamondbacks is the damn big bases with the ball hitting it tonight, giving them a run.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was one of the most bizarre batted balls I've ever seen. Just like a little cue shot off the end of the bat. It looked like it was going to go foul. Right off the bat, it was on a trajectory to totally go foul. And it just had so much weird side spin that it winds up curling fair. And not only curls fair in kind of a weird way, but then it skips off the base. Poor Christian Walker had sort of an impossible job at first base trying to figure out what to do with that. And that run, I mean, you could make a case that run ultimately was the difference in this game. So some tough luck there for the Diamondbacks.
Well, we have a little bit more from Torey from tonight. Do you want to set these up? Because I don't know what Torey had to say about this loss.
Yeah, so I think the first clip that we have is Torey Lovullo talking about just his general reaction to the way that this game ended. So here's that one.
That we were in a really good spot. We had kind of sold out to certain matchups. It was working. We're up by a run with McGough coming in the game. I felt very good about it. That's the beauty of this game. It can change quickly. He made a couple mistakes without pitches, and that was the difference in the game.
I mean, obviously, yesterday he didn't have the same struggle. What were you seeing with him today?
Yeah, I just feel like it was the first batter. I thought the velo on the fastball was real good, and just missed with an up splitter, and then it looked like the same thing to the final hitter. But look, it's hard to hit a pinch hit home run in this game, right? And it happened, and I feel like we got to find a way to regroup in that situation and make something good happen. But we got clipped. We got clipped for back-to-back home runs, and there's not a thing we can do about it. We got to move on and get ready for tomorrow.
Location seemed to really be McGough's problem there. Location, right?
Yeah, location and splitters that don't split. Not a great combination.
What else we got from Torey?
We have one more clip from Torey. I don't know how much you guys have talked about Corbin Carroll already and the game that he had with 3 hits and a home run.
Really, he may have been our king snake. He may have been our king snake. Yeah,
there you go. He's the king snake, and rightfully so. Here's Torey talking about the day that Carroll had at the plate, including that home run.
Yeah, he's an exciting player. He's engaged. He's following the game plan, and he can counterpunch really at any time. So he's not one-dimensional. He's not just a speed guy that hits mistakes. He hits a lot of pitches in a lot of different areas and follows the baseball. However he's being pitched, he's going to put the barrel on. He's been very, very good so far.
That dinger was kind of crazy, Jesse. It had a 20-degree launch angle. It did not look like it was going to be high enough to make a home run, but man, it got the hell out of here.
This is a classic Corbin Carroll dinger, honestly.
Yeah.
We have yet to see. I think there was one home run that Carroll hit last year. I'd have to go back and check. There was one that was like straight away center field and was like a total shot. But a lot of the dingers that we've seen from Carroll so far, this was his 5th career home run. They tend to just eke over that right field fence just a little, just by a pretty short margin. But I mean, that's kind of the way that his swing is built. He's not going to, loft balls up into the second or third deck. He's kind of a pure line drive hitter. And I mean, the man is hitting 333 with an 889 OPS. So for any Diamondbacks fans, you're gonna have some trouble sleeping tonight after this game. Corbin Carroll's hitting 333 with an 889 OPS. There you go.
It's like we said, he'll leave you if you're a good boy or girl, he'll leave you a stolen base in your stocking in the morning. So just sleep tight knowing that.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a
triple?
triple. It was a triple. Yeah, we're promising way too much, I feel like. But anyway, Jesse, I'm gonna let you get out of here. Go get some sleep, and we need you back out there early tomorrow. We got a 12 o'clock game, right?
I think it's 110, I want to say, but yeah, I think it's 110. People have the internet; they can go figure it out for themselves. I want to say
sure.
It's a 110 start.
But
tomorrow.
we will be coming to you live after that game, so make sure to join us. And then Jesse's not allowed to go anywhere anymore after that. I'm bringing him back here. I'm taking away his sick RAV4, so he can't travel out of the state. He gets a big head when he gets on. I mean, literally, look at the size of his head right now.
Not even if I bring you tacos, you won't.
Well, all right. Now we'll see. We'll talk. We'll talk offline about this. But thank you, Jesse. Have safe travels, buddy, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Well, of course, the one thing that Jesse is really bad at is buying furniture. So, of course, make sure you send him all of your suggestions for furnishing his house. I think his townhouse really is just empty. And that's the real thing. We joke about the Chase lounges. I don't think he has any furniture.
It wouldn't surprise. I don't think it wouldn't surprise.
I think he has a couple of folding chairs, and I think he has an air mattress that he's sleeping on, but I can't confirm that. Of course, you need to make sure to hook yourself up for baseball season. Apparently, we're getting more furniture in here, and that's not even a pun I was trying to make, but I did. And you need to get more furniture in your house. So get it delivered with their white glove delivery service, and get the best furniture in the Valley. Save big also on that best furniture in the Valley when you head to morefurniture.com. Big shout out also to our friends over at the Spaghetti Shack for keeping our bellies full and keeping all of these wonderful ASU college students their bellies filled with some wholesome food, right? Not some takeout food or not some fast food, not fried food. The Spaghetti Shack is ASU alum owned and operated, and they have a menu starring spaghetti, meatballs, garlic bread, and a few other fan favorites. So their entire mission is to provide quality, affordable food as quickly as possible so that you can spend less time cooking and spend more time with your loved ones. And especially if you're an ASU student, you might not have any loved ones. Your loved ones don't cook for you anymore. You've moved out. You've moved on. So you don't know where to get your loved one cooked, that wholesome meal that you need. And the Spaghetti Shack is your place.
And if you go to Spaghetti Shack, you might hear some embarrassing stories about me.
Hey, there's another reason to go. The Spaghetti Shack is a community-focused to-go pasta concept started right here in Tempe, Arizona by 5 lifelong friends. And we are currently serving Tempe and Queen Creek and hope to come to your neighborhood soon. But of course, go over there and hear the funny stories about Danielle. More importantly, follow Danielle on Twitter at abracadanielle. I am at cap_caveman with a K. Jesse is at Jesse and Friedman. Maybe it's San Diego Friedman now at this point. I don't know. Damon, our producer's at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. Our podcast is at PHNX_DBacks, but of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We're sad, and we know you guys are sad, and it's okay. This is what we come together for. I think the Coyotes coined the phrase pack therapy, and that's what we are all about here as well. We will get over these losses together. I will try to remain positive for you, even though you might at times yell and scream at me and say, Derek, you're a crazy person. That's what I'm here for. I am here to help you get over this stuff or to celebrate with you when we win. So we thank you guys so much, of course, for being here. On behalf of everybody here, we appreciate your time. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when the goddamn bullpen doesn't blow the game in the 9th.